Hi, everybody, and welcome to Good Day Arlington live on NBC Sports Chicago. I'm Howard Sudberry. Glad to have you with us, along with Alyssa Ali. And we talk about racing here. We race at Arlington through September 22nd, but we have a wide variety of guests on this half-hour program live every week, and our last one is next weekend. And hi, Alyssa, how are you today?
Great.
You
How
doing
are you?
well?
Yeah.
I know you're doing well. I'm glad you put your goldfish away that you've been eating here that are at your feet before we went on. Yeah, and you didn't share them with me.
It's like our guest Chris Zorich said. It's the breakfast of champions.
Yeah,
Goldfish.
yes, exactly. It is. It'd be nice if you shared.
No, they're mine.
And somebody just asked you, did you get them out of your son's backpack?
His diaper bag.
Out of his diaper bag. Yeah, well, that's a good place to keep them. I think we'll leave that alone.
I want to eat them now.
Speaking of Chris Zorich, today we have a promotion at the track, and our first race is a little bit after 1 o'clock, so people have time to get out here. But we have a Luck of the Irish promotion, so it's appropriate that we have Chris Zorich as a guest today, as he was a Fighting Irish. Two-time All-America there, a national champion, so it's fun to have him. But tell us about Luck of the Irish today.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, Howard. It's obviously St. Patrick's Day is March 17th, so now we're halfway to St. Patrick's Day, essentially, 2 days early here on the 15th. So Luck of the Irish Day today, we're going to have Irish dancing, bagpipers, Luck of the Irish VIP ticket. That does include green beer. So it's going to be a big day, and then 10 races on today's card. You have time to get out here to Arlington. Our gates open at 12.
And do you believe in luck,
Yeah.
good and bad?
Yeah, I do.
I guess that goes with superstition.
It does.
But there's no question that luck, I mean, you just take sports. Chris played football. Running back fumbles. The ball's odd-shaped. It could bounce anywhere. It could bounce right to the defensive guy. Sometimes it bounces right back to the running back, and he goes on. That's luck.
Same with horse racing.
Same with horse racing. There's a lot of luck involved in that. Hey, you mentioned green beer. Today, Luck of the Irish, featuring the green beer and Guinness, which is obviously Irish. And we wanted to give you a closer look at just how a perfect Guinness is made and poured.
Making Guinness, then storing and pouring it takes perfection in each and every step. There are 6 steps to the pour. First, they take a clean, branded glass. Secondly, it is poured with the glass held at exactly a 45-degree angle under the spout. The bartender then allows the Guinness to bounce off the harp or the branded part of the glass. Step 4 is to let it surge and cascade as the head forms. After that, it is topped off with the tap pushed away from the glass. The result, a perfect pour, a perfect Guinness. Cheers.
Guinness people talked about 6 steps, and the 6th one is drinking it. And
I
you've
love
been
that
to
they have to
Ireland.
include that.
Did it taste different in Ireland?
It tastes different in Ireland.
Yeah.
It legitimately does in Dublin.
It does. Part of it's psychological.
And you said
but some
cheers,
of
but you
it
should have said slancha, right? Is that how you say it?
is
right?
it
See everybody?
slancha? Why didn't you tell me that before we went on?
I forgot.
You
I didn't
that-
know you.
You
I
didn't know-
didn't see
you
the piece before you aired it.
All
so.
right, let's move on.
Wait, no. I have one little fun fact about Guinness.
Okay.
Is that Zenyatta, a very famous female racehorse,
Yeah.
they actually gave her Guinness
Oh, they
as
did.
like treats
I
and stuff.
remember
They would
hearing that. Yeah,
pour it into her feed bowl.
that's very
And
interesting.
they obviously in Ireland, people just it's like makes you strong. It's just a great drink.
And did she say what is it again?
Slancha.
Slancha? You don't know that.
No, she probably did.
She probably
in her
did.
own
She was
way.
quite a racehorse, I can tell you that. As I said, let's move on.
You can move on now.
The Cubs won last night, but they had some bad news. They lost their reliever, Pedro Strop, probably for the rest of the regular season. And let's go to our SportsCenter upset, ESPN 1000 SportsCenter update from Fred Hubner.
The Cubs were just 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position Friday night at Wrigley Field, but that one was a 3-run homer from Ian Happ in the 7th inning. Cubs beat the Reds 3-2 and remain 1.5 games ahead of the Brewers in the National League Central. Cole Hamels went 6 innings, allowing a couple of solo home runs. Then the bullpen took over. Dylan Maples, Jaime Garcia, and Jorge De La Rosa did the job closing out the win. News on Pedro Strop, not good, as he has a moderate strain of the hamstring. He will miss the rest of the regular season. John Lester, face of the Reds, today at 3:05. Milwaukee stayed in the chase, a 7-4 win over the Pirates. In Baltimore, White Sox belted 3 home runs, including the first big league blast for Ryan Cordell. They beat the Orioles 8-6. Ronaldo Lopez faces the O's tonight. The Bears continue prep for their Monday night home opener against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. College football sees number 8 Notre Dame hosting Vanderbilt, South Florida and Illinois at Soldier Field, while Northwestern faces Akron in Evanston. From the ESPN 1000 Sports Desk, I'm Fred Hupner.
And a prediction right now, the Chicago Bears will beat the Seattle Seahawks on Monday. I did say they were going to beat Green Bay last week, and they probably should have, although I don't think it was a tough loss. I don't think it was devastating because they showed they're much improved over last year, and but I think they'll beat Seattle on Monday.
All right, we're going to ask Chris that too.
We'll ask Chris that also, yes.
We'll see. But Howard, the weather is absolutely perfect. It definitely doesn't feel like you're in Ireland here for luck of the Irish, as it's sunny and warm. Currently, we're at 76 degrees. We're getting to a high of about 83 today. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's luck of the Irish day. It's a Saturday. You can't beat it. Our first race is off at 1 o'clock. And as I mentioned before, 10 races on today's card. So a nice day to enjoy if you come and join us today.
Yes, and we talk about the weather. The weather really affects horse racing because we have a beautiful turf course. So the horses run on the grass and on the main track. And we've had a lot of races because of the heavy rain in Chicagoland lately because off the turf.
Yes, and now
So
we've been back on this entire week, and hopefully we can continue that trend through closing day, and we are racing through September 22nd, so still a couple days to go.
Right, okay, cheers.
Where's my beer?
I
would have gone for a green beer. I would have gone for a Guinness.
I'm not your personal bartender.
You're not?
That'll probably be in my job description next year, won't it? Right? Yeah, with her. All right, I think it's time we take a break. And we would like to remind everybody that if you can't make it to the racetrack with Arlington season ending, you can visit one of terrific Chicago Arlington's trackside locations all over Chicagoland, including the Saddle Room in Hoffman Estates, the Turf Club out in North Aurora, and Joe's Bar Chicago. This portion of Good Day Arlington is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, the preferred vodka of Arlington. And coming up next, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish, former Chicago Bear, Chris Zorich, live on our set with his take on the Bears and maybe some other things on Good Day Arlington. And welcome back to Good Day Arlington, live on NBC Sports Chicago. Howard Sudberry and Alyssa Ali, joined by an old friend of mine, Chris Zorich. Back in the day, as you can imagine, we did a television show together on Sunday nights
Yes,
on
I remember
Channel 2
that.
quite a bit.
Vividly, yes.
You came in, so those were good times. Good to see you again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Welcome. We're glad to have you here. You've been retired for a while now, and I ask athletes this. Maybe you've gotten it out of your system, but is there ever a day on Sunday or Saturday when you play college ball and you think, Man, those were the days. I wish I was back out there.
I enjoy the camaraderie.
Yeah.
I enjoy kind of hanging out with the guys.
Sure.
But the soreness and the bumps and bruises afterward, I could definitely do without.
Yeah.
I enjoy waking up now on Mondays or on Sunday mornings, and I'm not aching, which is good.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of players about that. What's that like? You play a game in the NFL on Sunday, and you go back to practice on Wednesday. You go in for training on Monday and some film study and everything.
Sure.
How long does it take you, and sometimes does it take you until the next game to get that soreness out of your body?
For just regular soreness, yes.
Okay.
But obviously, I mean, if you have an injury, that's where it gets really complicated, because it's kind of like you want to get back as fast as you can. You have a doctor in your ear, you have a coach in your ear, so it gets really kind of complicated, and it's really worse probably in college, because you're a young male or female student athlete, and you only have 4 years to play, so there's really a lot of pressure there.
Sure.
We have this logo behind because you're now the athletic
Yes, I
director
am.
at Chicago State University.
Go Cougars.
And go Cougars, yes. And how did that come about?
It was really kind of a great story. I'm obviously born and raised in Chicago.
Yeah.
I had a chance to play for the Bears. Had a chance to play 90 miles away at the University of Notre Dame, and was actually the athletic director at Prairie State College for 3 years. And from my home, I would drive past Chicago State every day for 3 years, and always kind of looked over and said, "Man, someday I'd love to be there." Well, the opportunity came up. Literally put in an application. There were, I think, maybe 30, 40 people that had wanted the job as well. We all interviewed, and I was lucky enough to have the job.
Great.
What do you love about the position so far, and what made you want that position?
First of all, I love the fact that I have a chance to do something that I cherish, and that's being around athletics. That, and then also having a chance to really help form young minds of our student athletes, which is the most important thing. And so I think I can kind of use all the things that I've experienced in my background to create a positive environment for our student athletes. And I've kind of been on the bad side of the fence, the good side of the fence. I've had all these amazing experiences, and I would love to just have a chance to kind of use those experiences to help influence our young people, and which is great, because we have probably about 30 coaches, about 200 athletes, and really we have a chance to kind of have just this great time and excitement. And I've only been there for 4 months now, and really it just gives me a great chance to kind of get excited, get these young folks excited, and really we're looking forward to our games. I mean, we have our soccer teams are competing right now. We also have our volleyball team competing as well.
I think it's a perfect job for
Yeah,
you, and
I
I
agree.
think
Yes,
they're
I'm
really.
very, very excited about
We were
it.
talking about luck with our promotion going on today. I think they're very lucky to have you
Well,
because
thank
you're
you.
the
Thank
right
you very
guy at
much.
the
I
right
appreciate
time.
that. Thank
We're going to take a break right now, short break, and we'd like to let you know that there is no better place to have a group outing than right here at Arlington International Racecourse. From family reunions to weddings to corporate outings, this is the place, and you can get more information at arlingtonpark.com/groups. And Good Day Arlington is brought to you in part by our friends at the Daily Herald. They're the best at local coverage, local news, weather, and sports. The Daily Herald. And coming up next, Chris Zorich is going to become a racing handicapper. We're going to see if
Why
he can
not?
make a pick. Why not?
Why not?
We'll challenge him, and we'll continue our conversation on Good Day Arlington. And welcome back, and thanks for joining us on Good Day Arlington on NBC Sports Chicago. I'm Howard Sudberry, along with Alyssa Ali, and our guest, Chris Zorich, the athletic director at Chicago State University. Chris and I did a TV show back in Channel 2 back in the day when he was a Chicago Bear, and Alyssa's like, oh, here we go again. The old stories.
Oh my God.
She's like, I wasn't even born then. Yeah, you were born because he played between 91 and 96.
That's true. I was born.
So anyway.
I'll give you that,
and I'm
Howard.
She was like 2.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right,
she was
like
2.
two, right,
but
exactly.
she did watch.
I did?
At
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, at
right,
2. I was.
right.
I was just so into it.
Take it away.
Thank you. But Howard was talking about the Bears, and I want to ask you, and he predicted that the Bears were going to beat the Packers. But like you said, I completely agree with what you said about their performance. But I want to ask you, what do you think about the current Bears team? Did you watch the Bears-Packers
Absolutely,
game?
I watched it.
Okay.
I think all of Chicago watched that game. It was the first game and had a chance against our rivals, Green Bay. And I think me, along with everybody in Chicago, thought we were actually going to do it, right? And then all of a sudden it started to go down, and not even mention the guy had one leg, and it was just bad. But what I'm telling people is that, if you compare that game to like a lot of the games last year, we were getting destroyed.
Right.
So the chance that we literally lost by 1, but we were so close until the end, really made a difference. And so I'm excited about this upcoming season. We have some great players now. We actually have Mac, who apparently we gave the whole organization away to get him, and but in the first game we actually saw how good he is, right? I was like, oh my God, well this is great. So I, along with Howard, will predict the win on Monday. So I am going to be at the game. So I am very excited about that. But more importantly, I want to see the Bears dominate Russell Wilson.
Yes.
That would be nice, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's tough to dominate, though. A very, very good quarterback. You have played for some interesting characters. Let's talk about Lou Holtz for a second. Another generation knows him from television. He is a real character. Was he that way as a coach?
I'll tell you the most interesting thing is, we would hang on every word he would say, right? He's a great motivator. And when he got to ESPN, he did a segment called Dr. Lou, where he would take teams that weren't doing very well. He'd give them a great inspirational speech. And one of my buddies said, hey, have you heard the speeches? I'm like, no, I haven't. I just listened to them. So I went on YouTube and listened to one, and I got upset because it was the same speech he told us when I was freaking 18 years old. I would go through the wall for him. I'm like, man, he just changed the color or changed the mascot. I was like, son of a gun, So yeah, so it's kind of things like that I didn't realize that you could actually transfer just the color and the name, and those guys go out and win anyways.
Reruns, there's no question. And then Coach Ditka.
Yes.
What was that like? Describe him in a word, first of all.
Intense.
Nice.
And
That's a good word.
for me, growing up in Chicago, my mom and I, we were huge Bear fans.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was the type of fan that if things didn't